welcome back to BIBSTER'S Repair Shop. New project day. Buddy of mine, he's actually talked to me about last year, he had a few old tractors that were his grandpa's and he wanted to be able to get a few of them running again and restored and different levels of restoration. And the one we thought we'd start with is this 1946 Case VAC, which, as you can see, is one of their smaller tractors because it goes up to about BIBSTER chest level. This was built from 41 to 55, so a lot, you know, it was talked about in older videos where during the 40s it seemed like tractors pretty much made one brand or one style almost the entire time because of the war, and then post-war, you know, they wanted to be able to still improve on that design that they couldn't improve on too much. So that's what this one was. It was a nice little smaller tractor. It was rated at 14 horsepower, but actually on the Nebraska tractor test it was rated 19 horsepower, 21 foot-pounds on the belt. It's got a PTO. This one does have a 3-point on it, which I think would have originally been, it's actually, well, it's not a 3-point, it's an eagle lift. Would have been the case lift on it, but yeah, because it's only got 2 posts, it doesn't have. Oh, it's got the third, so it must be put on afterwards. Anyway, so it's got a nice little 3 posts. So it'll be a handy little tractor for the guy when he gets it all done. The problem is, it is stuck. And we found out getting it in here that the rear end's also stuck. They rolled it on the trailer yesterday, but probably something with the brakes. I'm assuming it's what's holding it up. And so it was all rusted up. They got it freed up, used the loader tractor so it would roll. Well, then it sat for a couple days, and probably it's sitting in a spot and rust and stuff's falling apart. So what we're gonna do, probably not in this video because this is gonna be just kind of an overview of the whole project, and then we'll start diving into a little more project videos as we go. Is the first thing we'll do is we'll adjust the brakes, not necessarily fix them, but get them pulled apart and can figure out what we need and we can roll it around. Because right now it's literally stuck where it's at. You gotta jack the back end up, and it was a whole, I was gonna show you guys the video of trying to unload it, but again, as you guys know, for insurance reasons, when things get super sketchy, I try and keep the camera out so that way, you know, it's better to not document some of those things so people can later come look at you and see how much of an idiot you are. But I will say, it involved having to use my truck, a floor jack, and luckily my dad pulled up as we were about to do it because it was a tilt bed trailer. I'll tell you the whole thing. And we couldn't get it to even tilt up because the tractor was locked in. We thought we could kind of push it and it would tilt up and go. It's locked on, so we pulled it. Pulled it back out, pulled the truck, pulled it to the end of the trailer, then ended up, once we backed it up in, it tilted. Once it tilted, still was locked up, then we put a jack on the back and just rolled it kind of where it's at now, which actually worked out pretty well. So that was actually not as sketchy as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, so this will be kind of the winter project until the farm all will go out during when I'm walking around. I'll show you what the farm all looks like right now. It's currently being the Christmas display. There was a 70 last year for longtime viewers, which also I did make a video, but last week, the 15th, was the 1-year anniversary of when I started making videos again with the 60 project. So the channel's grown by like 500 subscribers since that first video. So everyone's been checking out the videos for last year. Thanks for checking it out. I know it's kind of been few and far between, but now that there's a new project in here, we're gonna get tons of videos out because this thing is gonna need, like I said, some work. So overview to start with, we've got to figure out the brake situation. The engine is locked up, so we're gonna pull the spark plugs out, make a concoction out, put that down there. We'll pull the radiator out, the gas tank out. I'll take that to my radiator and gas tank guy in DeWitt, and that way we can go through those, make sure those are good to go. Because again, this isn't going to be, has got a blade for it, you know, maybe pushing snow around, something small. He's got a couple younger kids that, you know, something they can kind of ride around with dad on. So it'll be a nice little in-town tractor for those that, you know, I'm all about keeping tractors in town. But yeah, so I'll grab the camera, I'll bring you around, and we'll go through some of the cool things. Because again, I've never been around one of these VACs. I've seen them and stuff, it shows, but I know some of my subscribers are big Case people, so if you guys are Case people, give me the bleep bloops down in the comments about anything I should know. but we'll show you some more. So all right, so we got the little Case VAC here. Part in the shop, it is still a mess. I really haven't even finished moving in yet. It does look like we got an axle leak there. These tires are garbage. Actually, the backs that one's holding air. And that one's dry rotted, but he wants to put new rubber on it. The front there's nothing rolling about this front end. So put the new front rubber on it, back rubber. But again, this is our main concern. The brakes, I'm pretty sure it's something simple, so we'll just take that apart so at least I can roll it around the shop. But this is going to be the hard part to start with. What I kind of like about these cases is I'm not getting hopping around them. Check this out. It's like a car. And then, hold on, I'm going to try and do this while holding the phone. So I'll set you there. There's this wood stick that comes down and holds the hood up. Now what I've been doing is actually just coming up and sitting it on the air cleaner so it's a little more secure. But let's take a closer look at this. Obviously, the carb, it looks like it's a Marvel, whatever the other name is. Looks like that should be a pretty easy, if I have to get a new one there. I'll probably take the guy said use it for plowing, so it's got this external heater this will all get ripped off. I'm assuming we put it back together. It was a 6-volt system. I'll talk about possibly converting that over to 12, maybe with an alternator here. Might be just because of the simplicity and the ease of use. This would have been kind of moving right along here. I like that would have been like the world's shortest little chunk of rubber between your oil bath and your carb. It does actually have a muffler. Let me get it here. This little guy, which, does the thing. Set that there for now. There's some mice that lived in there, so all the wiring, I'll pull all the wiring and just rewire the whole thing once we get the engine going with all new wires, because the last thing you want to do is have one wire screw with you. Like the coil is back there. The coil is actually in that mouse nest. I'll get that vacuumed out quick too. And then here's your operating station. Kind of cool. They actually had here's your throttle here, but it actually had a gas pedal too. That was kind of cool. It's kind of not many tractors would have had something like that back when this was made. And like I said, being a 46. So that was kind of neat. It's got a 4-speed transmission. I'm trying to think of what else on these was specific. So let's go back to the work I said. Obviously not the factory, which I said that's for the 3-point. So I'm assuming that's that's not the factory option there. Where's the vice grip garage? But you can see here how that would have worked. It's kind of cool. So it looks like it's only, look here quick. Here's your really easy way to turn your PTO on and off. It looks like, yeah, so you have, because your hydraulic pump's actually up on the front of the tractor up there. And then you have, there might be one extra remote on this valve here, but I'm assuming this was your, because the way this lifts, this is a hydraulic motor that would turn a shaft in there and then it would lift this up. So I'm assuming it would have had some sort of a conversion at some point to make it like a 3-point style. But that all he said, he's got to hitch that extra with that. Yeah, it looks like there's another, interesting. What's this hose here? Okay. No idea yet. So that's that. But yeah, so trying to think of anything else. There was like I said, it was a small little tractor. Not for big use, but good little shore tractor. Again, at that time too, you had a lot of really small farms that would have been, needing use for all sorts of other things. Oh, goes into there. That is interesting. Very, very interesting. Is that because... I'll have to do some more research. I'm really totally not doing any research at all, but just looking at how this works. So there's that hydraulic motor up there, and there's this other line that I was looking at in the back that comes out of here. So is there... Tell me on the bleep bloops, but was there like a second, because it would like free down, was there no one that would help curl it down for like power lift down so you could do down pressure? I don't know. I just don't know. Here's the brakes that I was talking about. I think they're a band, maybe, but I guess I'll get that. I gotta get that all tore apart first here. Oh, geez, bumping things, turning lights off. Sorry about that. There we go. That's better. But yeah, so kind of a quick little sheet metal on both sides has this problem, but we're going to get the hood and everything torn off anyway. Probably get that done today. Bring you guys along for that, and then we'll keep moving right along. All right, so I decided to pull the spark plugs out, and my buddy had said that they had done some thing to try and get her unstuck, which, you know, there's all sorts of concoctions. Number one is the one that I'd be mostly concerned about. Is see how there's rust on the inside of that spark plug and it's all rusted up? This tells me that the number one is definitely going to be focus. Focus is going to be a problem. Because see, if you look at this one, that looks fine. And again, I don't know if these were put in later, how long it's been sitting. There's a real concern with number 4. We'll get to that in a second. This is number 3. And see, there's a little bit of rust there, but you look down in there, it's not like number 1. But then look at this guy. This is actually in there like this. It was in just to plug the hole. So this isn't even a D16. I don't know. So that number 4 was not sealed in very well. So that tells me that there could be problems there. But what I'm gonna do, scoot by you here, folks at home, is I'm going to go ahead and pop the starter off, which this being that these bolts are loose tells me, and that this is off, that at one point someone else has already done what I'm about to do. I mean, somebody had this starter off and tried to bar it over. So we'll see what it does, because if this thing isn't, if I can get the motor freed up, he thinks he's got a set of pistons for it. But if I can get the motor freed up, it's going to be a whole lot easier to do this. You know, I like this engine. So, like, a lot of times, you can see this where your push rods would go, right here. And all these little spots. And this back head bolt's not tight. That's not good. So, that's concerning. So, we'll find out here. Like he said, he really didn't want to put too much time into trying to free it up, but I kind of figured that you would have to. I gotta get the pistons out somehow, so it's gonna be a whole lot easier if the pistons are free to get them to come out, and maybe, you know, be able to do things a little bit better than if it's stuck. And sometimes engines they could just be stuck from sitting, and you can get them freed up and they'll run just fine for a long time of use. So there's a hydraulic line that comes up to here, which is also interesting. Anyway, so we'll get this starter popped off here. Then we'll get a pry bar. I've had some couple of viewer questions about a few different things. One's about a lighting on a Ford 8N on my alternators versus voltmeter video. And I think I'm going to try and do a video where I draw those circuits out and kind of explain it a little bit. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because those will be coming out soon too. They're getting cold out. The outdoor stuff's kind of all done. And this is going to be a fun little project to come in here and hopefully get all fixed up and nice before it gets, you know, before once snow's done flying around here. So, oh boy, ooh, huh? There we go. Oh, that is gotta see, is that spin? Wow, that is one interesting starter. So it must, when it spins up, that's an interesting starter to say the least. I wonder why there's this big channel here. Huh. That's kind of cool. Gotta do some more research on that. Yeah, if you guys know, leave the old comments and figure out. I'll hang on a second. I'll get Mr. Crowbar, who's already been out for getting this thing off, and we'll see if we can do anything. Cold brew is my friend. All right, let's see what we can do here. Spark plugs are all out. I haven't really done much else. We're just gonna kind of see if there's a spot where does it turn one way, not the other. Oh yeah, that's angry. Oh yeah. Let's bring you back. Let's do some other investigating. All right, good signs here, folks. I pulled the dipstick. That actually still appears to be oil. It smells like dirty paint, but it still appears to be, it's not full of water, so that's a very good sign on the possibilities of us getting this engine to run. That oil still is, I was kind of concerned of what I would see there. Now, if I drained it, there might be a different story. We won't drain it yet until we get the turnover. Well, now I guess next step is I'm going to try and get something on the front of this motor with the half a breaker bar and just see kind of if it wants to go. I don't know if it will. We'll find out. So we'll bring it back. All right. Well, we got the radiator pulled off. What you got to do is you got this dumb little pedestal here with 5/8 bolts. You pop those two loose. Luckily, this thing was already kind of half torn apart. This bolt was already, there's supposed to be a bracket that came back to this one. This one came back to the other side. Oh, lordy, lordy, that's nasty. But I pulled that bolt off, and then the other bracket that's right there came off, and then it came off from there. Oh, I had that one loosened up. Oh. Anyway, it's all gonna get replaced anyway, all those hoses and all that garbage. But yeah, it ain't moving. I'm a big boy, if you guys have seen me. Well, obviously at the beginning of the camera. I can't. So I'm gonna do some research tonight and find out something to drop in these. I've seen some stuff work, seen some stuff not work. And we'll let that, I'll figure out a way. My thought process is I'll use that wrench on there, and then I got 150 pound Oliver weight buried back there. And I'll put that on there and let it just hang with the weight on it, I think. And that way, if that stuff ever works, it should drop, in theory, is my thought. And then that way you can kind of put pressure against it and see if it does anything. So we'll go from there. The only other thing I can do, and I don't have somebody else here, is have someone put their foot on the clutch, and then, because if the clutch is stuck and the transmission's stuck, the engine will be stuck because of that. Which right now, but I think it's just the brakes. So, but you can see, I mean, there's a pile of dirt that actually goes up into the bottom of that pulley down there. So I'll also get this all vacuumed out and cleaned up, so there's less rat feces on me while working on it. But I think for this video, for the introduction, we'll shut her down. If you're new, you're just checking the channel out because you haven't seen anything, or it's case related, welcome to the channel. Let me know, because I'm completely a moron with this stuff. I'm a moron about most things, but definitely this. And if you're an Oliver or Farmall guy and you've been watching because of that content, well, stick around because obviously the Farmall stuff's always going to be on the channel. But hopefully we'll have some more videos coming out. Hopefully a couple more every week now, so this thing gets closer. So we'll see you on the next one, and have a great weekend, and hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. And we'll be back. Bye. Terrible way to end the video.